I stream.
Quickly cut across to External Affairs Minister Pranab Mukherjee, who's addressing the media.
And it will be simultaneously released by the Joint Secretary, XP Division, in the Ministry of External Affairs after an hour or so. This statement is confined only to the developments in Sri Lanka. I am reading it. After I complete my reading, this copy of this statement will be given to you. India is deeply concerned about the humanitarian situation in Sri Lanka. The continuing conflict has taken a heavy toll on Tamil civilians and internally displaced persons caught in the crossfire. The Government of India has repeatedly expressed its concern for their security and sought to ensure safe passage to secure zones for the civilian population. We had welcomed the announcement by Sri Lankan President, His Excellency Mahendra Rajapaksa, of a cessation of hostilities for the Tamils and Sinhala New Year over the last 2 days. The government of Sri Lanka must extend this pause in hostilities to prevent further casualties and enable trapped civilians to leave the area to secure locations. Continuation of precipitate military actions leading to further civilian casualties at this time would be totally unacceptable. While it is incumbent on the LTTE to release all civilians and internally displaced persons under their control, the government of Sri Lanka cannot be oblivious to the evolving human tragedy and the fate of the Tamil civilian population caught up in the so-called no-fire zone. The government of India is clear that there is no reason not to continue with the pause in military actions in the no-fire zone. The government of India have extended humanitarian assistance, including medicines, food and other supplies to the civilian population. Trapped in the conflict zones, a 62-member emergency medical unit from India has treated more than 1,500 serious medical cases among civilians in Colombo in Sri Lanka. We will soon send another consignment of 40,000 family packs to the affected civilians in northern Sri Lanka. The government of India expects the government of Sri Lanka and other concerned to respond positively to this appeal in the interest of the Tamils who are citizens of Sri Lanka. Thank you. Copy the
The government of Sri Lanka has recently done away with Norway. They have rejected Norway's proposal for mediation between Tamils and Sri Lankan government. So India is going to mediate. Does India propose to mediate in this regard?
There is no question of mediation, or we have not offered to mediate. What we want, our policy is quite clear, that current concern is to ensure the security and safety of the civilians who are trapped in the conflict zone. This statement is related to that. The internal problems of Sri Lanka will have to be resolved by the Sri Lankan parties and Sri Lankan government within the framework of Sri Lankan constitution without affecting the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Sri Lanka. Thank you. Copies will be distributed to you.
Well, that was External Affairs Minister Pranab Mukherjee saying that India is deeply concerned about the humanitarian crisis in Sri Lanka and has called upon the Sri Lankan government to respond to the Tamil civilians' crisis in the so-called no-fire zone.